trailer with Geo. I was like, holy shit, Geo's like touring the country with Nathan Thompson. And then it was like probably an hour later, his dog comes in and goes, "Oh, hey Geo, how you doing?" Like kisses his dog Geo. I was like, shit.
Yeah. His dog, that's what his dog's name is. Yeah, I think somebody else had said that, and I was like, what? But yeah, that's what, yeah. It's funny.
Oh, look at that, Jesse's here.
Hey, hello.
Hello, Governor. 3-on-1 now, Geo. Look out.
Oh, does one concaver average out against one glober to make a flat?
The concave Earth.
Are you there, Shoebill?
Yep.
Have you been following Dr. Heffron's research with the star timing of clipping behind mountains?
Well, I sat in day before yesterday whenever the that lengthy discussion went on, and so yeah, I'm pretty aware of it.
Okay, well, I looked more into because he did a star for Pikes Peak, and then he did several stars for Blodgett Peak, which is 22 miles away and not nearly as tall. But it turns out that the times he claims that the stars set behind Blodgett Peak are like 33 to 34 seconds before they actually did. So I'm really curious
33
about...
seconds of time. Got to be clarifying time, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, of time. Half a minute of time. So, for some reason, he reported the stars setting half a minute of time earlier than they should have. So...
Well, the discussion, as I observed it, was had no technical footing whatsoever.
Well, in the case of Pikes Peak, it just so happens that because of its distance and its elevation...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it just happens to be 27 nautical miles away, which is, as we know, a nautical mile is not a linear unit. It's an angle, so that's 27 arc minutes. And that's about, it's like, oh, it's a coincidence? Yes, there is that coincidence. And then he pulls some bullshit with the Pythagorean theory, just a Pythagorean solution to get the vertical angle to the mountain. And I said, that works like exactly nowhere.
Right. Well, anyway, the Pikes Peak did just happen to work with his method. It also works on a globe.
It didn't really work with his method because he was using an angle from his house and an angle from the Pikes Peak and saying, oh, look, they're the same. Well, you don't compare, if you're going to query stellarium for zenith angle to a star from location A, then why would he query the zenith angle of the star from location B? So when I posed the question, I said, why an angle has a vertex? You're comparing two angles from two different vertices. They said, well, what's your problem? Because I'm just trying to reduce the number of vertices here.
Yeah, well, his method is invalid. The one that did work on a flat Earth also works on a globe, but the other mountain peak, did not work on both a flat Earth and a globe at the same time. He had to...
Yeah, he's got... It's hard to keep track of the number of problems with this rather silly non sequitur of what he thinks he's armchair, defeated all of science in every industrialized country for the past couple of centuries.
Yeah, but I thought it was interesting that he had to fudge the time by half a minute of time.
No, I don't find it interesting at all. It's nearly expected. I mean, I wouldn't trust, his ability to quote such things. And then I got to hear things like, oh, well, if the mountains were fracted up, but he was able to defeat refraction, although he's looking at the star as it occults at the mountain. He's looking at the star, that's refracted. The top of the mountain, that's refracted. Then I can hear some sort of weird bullshit. Oh, a refracted mountain can't block a star. And it's like, oh my God. And Ruhip was just beside himself. I mean, it was hard.
I'll put my diagram in the chat. 1 sec. There we go. There we go.
And then he didn't even bring up the fact that he has the best instrument in the entire world to measure the mountain. And then they said, oh, but you can't use those instruments. I go, well, then why did it even come up in discussion? And they said, oh, refraction. And they want to talk about how, oh, refraction's all over the place. It's like, you never know. And it's like, oh, would you put a range on that? You know, is it all over the place, like 10, 15 arc seconds? Because that's what we're talking about. That's the discrepancies of refraction that we're talking about that are time dependent or day night. And so if he's looking at night, at winter, that's the period of highest refraction.
That's what I've got to do as well, is map out his line of sight and then see how far above the surface he is for most of it.
Well, like I said, when he did the Pythagorean, taking, what was it, 2,226 meters higher than his house?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's...
I'll get a profile.
Yeah, because
Just give me a sec.
That's the difference in height in the geoid in two places, not the distant, not the departure from tangent from his house to the mountain. Yeah, anytime they want to carry on that they've found Earth is flat, everything that follows out of their mouths or out of their keyboards is just not going to work, because to be in that level of denial, think about it. 21st century, they're in the denial. They think they can armchair cite the Earth is flat while people are getting onto 14-hour plane flights. With sunrise, sunset. Oh yeah, don't forget, star trails are good in the north, but they're fake in the south. And the sun doesn't really set. We don't really know what night happens, and we don't know anything about the distance or nature of anything at all, really. They got no map, but they do have a dome.
Apparently.
What?
So
my star trails are fake.
So the other day it was kind of frustrating. So I didn't open my mic too much.
I did find it funny that as soon as he was explicit in his PDF that he goes, I'm using this movabletype.co.uk website, and it gives you an explanation of the maths involved in working out the distance. And I'm like, what? It's fucking Haversine. What are you talking about? That was insane, that part. I'll post that in the chat as well. Hold on.
There's the elevation profile for you guys for Pike's Peak.
Yeah, I'll make a sight curve to fit it at some point. Yeah, just post it in the chat. The website he's using explicitly says this is a great circle distance between 2 points. Like, what are you doing? What the hell? Oh, fucking commie. The commie has joined the chat.
Not me.
Yeah. Come on, commie. That's
you
Boomer.
mean me?
Yes.
Me?
Yeah,
you Boomer. Yeah, you Boomer.
I'm not Boomer, I'm Blartek. Boomer hacked my account.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Communist.
And then Jeremy, it's so funny because they want to tell, describe exactly what, how things work. Like, oh, theodolites, you can't use theodolite measurements because they have curvature and refraction baked in. I go,
no,
really?
Well, you can bake it in, but you don't have to.
Not
theodolites.
They're programmed. No, theodolites are programmed.
No, my 1969 completely analog brass and glass as was pointed out, you take the measurement, you just write down what it reads. It does nothing. It's just 2 glass protractors and spirit levels and precision bearings. That's all it is.
Yeah,
What about a little pendulum and
times.
a protractor? Would that be?
Yeah, that's a theodolite. Yeah, I must have said 5 times. We're not adjusting any measurements. We're just taking raw angles. Point the thing at the mountain, measure an angle. The end. And he kept saying, "Oh, they've got to correct their angles." I'm like, "No, we don't." Anyway,
They wouldn't even know how to measure a tree.
Well, again, they're speaking with such, certainty, and so I've come back to where, I just, my first follow up is, are you speaking from experience?
nice.
And they're like heavy on the speaking, light on the experience.
Yes. Gold seal. Oh,
Jesse, what you show a Google profile of elevation that shows flat Earth?
What's that?
yeah, but you've got to plot a curve. Yeah, you got to to show how far above the surface you are with a line of sight. You've got to plot that line of sight as a curve. It's a pain in the ass. I'll do it later.
I remember that was years ago when somebody brought that one up about Google Earth having the altitude elevation as a flat Earth.
That was QA. That was fantastic.
But you can see most of it's not very close to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're dealing with, over 2 degrees in geodesy, that is like freakish, right? That's a marvelous condition to have. I mean, 90% of everything I do around here is barely 1 degree.
Mega.
You look through the that 1900 survey report, where they're going to 14,000 foot mountain. They barely have a degree over in the east, and in the west they get like a degree and a half, 2 degrees. So there's my 2 instruments, and those things, that lower instrument, that's like, I think it was 1969, and so however old that is, 55 years old. And the one above that, the big boy, that's like 1955. There's no baked in.
Are you behind on your software updates?
Nice.
That's why I have them. And you see, they're big bitches using software. I said, no. I went back to, first principles. First principles. Oh. I mean, this is the only information I get from that instrument. Right there. That's all it does. I write that down, and I do with it what I want, what I need to do.
It's got a site for Australia. Did you see that, Ruhif?
Again, you got a site for Australia.
There's Australia. Yeah, that looks
The
normal to me.
numbers. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, the 157, 158, 159 is upside down.
Yeah. Oh, do I get that? Do I?
Although
the
bigger, older instrument doesn't need a software update, but I do have to change its batteries occasionally.
Is it one of them like silver mercury cells you can't get anymore?
It hasn't got one of those keys at the back. You got to wind it.
Well, they're just D cells, because there's little lamps that illuminate the glass circles to get the reading, and that I put in the last post. That's all you get from that instrument.
Yeah, but the wind-up one is so more energy efficient. You don't need power for that.
Oh, these things are very, very power efficient, because even without batteries, they work just fine. You can bring illumination in through a little mirror.
They're solar powered.
No, it's just light.
You can use them at nighttime.
Yes, with a flashlight or the battery pack.
Mine's got
in the daytime, you don't need the battery pack. You can use just a little mirror and reflect daylight into it. It's just their whole disparaging of the instruments, and these things. That big one, the T3, that's still state of the art.
Who's that expert that knows how to use the theodolite? What's his name?
Jay Tolins?
No, I'm trolling. I'll find it in a sec.
Oh, Anthony Bear?
There was a Chris von Matter. He kind of disappeared, but a few years ago he was Mr. Authority.
Oh, no clubs. All right.
Oh, this guy. This is the one. Yeah. That guy.
Nice one. Nice.
Who wants to bet that he knew that when he was doing that? And that was like a troll sort of thing, because it was too obvious to have that tower, the Blackpool Tower, in the background.
Yeah. Pretty funny. Oh, I'm going to do it. He's going to get there. Come on. Oh, so close.
One thing that's kind of a nice piece of documentation is in that 1900 survey report is they took zenith angle measurements every hour for 24 hours, day and night. So you could see the variation in refraction. Therefore, you could see, the magnitude of this. Oh, it's different every hour. Well, yeah, what you don't want to do is 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock at night. You don't want to do night. You want to do midday. You have to control for these things.
Oh, that one.
Is there a trick for measuring a zenith angle to a mountaintop at night that I don't know about, other than putting a beacon light up there?
Yeah, I was just going to say the beacon light would help. Unless you've got a full moon where you can see the horizon line of the
Why not measure? Why not measure it in the day?
Oh, by all means, it would be fun to do it for a 24-hour period, though.
Yeah, the couple of measurements they did in the Arc of the Parallel were like 120 miles they had to do at night.
Yeah, but the zenith angles were not.
Yeah, correct.
Because they use heliotropes.
Who?
Mirrors, sun mirrors.
But for the 24-hour segment, find a different target. Find one of those 2,000 foot tall radio towers, 20 miles away, and do that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of tall towers in my area.
No, but there'll be reasonable sized towers on top of ridges. The tower a couple of towers I favor, they're 2,300 feet above sea level, but they're only a 300 foot mass on a 2,000 foot mountain.
What was that mountain you did that laser thing on, Jesse? Isn't that a big enough place? That doesn't got a tower.
No towers. At least no lights.
They're kind of, some of the radio towers, they're so in the background we don't even know they're there. But when you really look around, oh God, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I got one just here where I moved to. I can see one up on a mountain here. Or TV radio.
Yeah.
The easiest calculation I have for refraction is 4 arcseconds per mile. Done.
All right, we're about to witness glory. Should I stream it?
I suppose you better.
What have we got?
Balatro. It's one of the hard challenges that I've been trying to get done for a couple of days. And this is the last
game.
hand.
Oh, poker. Oh. Is this just like a PC game, or is this against people somewhere?
No, it's a solo game.
Oh.
What should I do?
I don't know how to play cards. I know how to play certain ones, but not these ones.
Oh, too easy. And that's it. That's the end.
Is there any cash involved or just credits?
No, just a game.
Oh, you got a score.
Hang on. Did I not get there? Around 25. What? I thought that was the end. Hold on. Why is it still going? Yeah. No, 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 no. Shit. All right, so I've still got these three to go. I thought that was the end.
Chad, is a crack up. He says, "Hey, look, Flirt Bill's mama weighs 158 kilograms." Oops, I'm not allowed to say that word, am I? Sorry.
I didn't hear it.
The F word.
Yeah, FLERF.
Wow.
I was just reading the chat.
Censorship. You're approaching my rights.
I think Chad is a bot.
Yeah, definitely a bot. He can lift double what I can, though. So, watch out.
Is that really you, Bev?
It is a Bev. Hello, Beverly.
And Brian Mabbott.
No, it's a pretend one.
It's
a pretend Bev. You can tell.
Reinforcements have arrived.
It's a pretend Bev because he's not talking. Real Bev just talks incessantly. Whatever, you know the word.
And if you call him Beverly, that would have triggered him, you reckon?
Yeah, it's just someone pretending to be him. But unfortunately, Brian Mabbott, well, that's the real one. So, yeah, we've definitely got a genuine Brian there.
No, Brian Muppet. I call him Brian Muppet.
It might
That's
be
a bit.
Bev. It is Bev.
It is Bev. Yeah.
That's insulting to Muppets. I know. I'm trying to, Jesse. I'm trying to provoke a response. Thanks for raining on my parade.
So we've got a Beverly and a Muppet. Is that true?
Yeah. Brian should change his first name to Brain. I reckon that would be so much better.
Brain Muppet. Brain Muppet.
Yeah. Yes, that's almost like a good book or a disease or a band or I don't know. It's something. It's almost something, but not quite anything.
Do not go there.
I wanted to talk to Brian about building a motor.
As long as it doesn't involve tire inflation, Terry, he won't lead you up the garden path.
Too easy.
The
I'm building a V8, Brian.
Hold on a minute. The mother-in-law wrote our wedding invitations, hand wrote them, and spelt every one of them as Brain Mabbott.
Brain marble.
So I did. All my mates from work all started calling me Brain.
That's a lie.
What would you say, Tom? No, it is not a lie.
You have friends.
Let me have a look on Facebook, see what I've got nowadays.
I think there's a joke there somewhere, but I think it's cerebral.
Somewhere. Yeah.
No, ask the
Nice one,
missus.
Terry.
Susan, what did your mother put on our wedding?
Yeah, she spelt it wrong.
What did she put?
Brain.
Thank you.
No, we're talking about you having friends, Brian. That's the bit.
Yeah, you
it's
missed
not
it.
the case she misspelled it.
Yeah, now
In
ask her if
fact,
you have...
she told me at the time she did it deliberately, just to piss you off. But okay, that's all right.
349 friends on Facebook, if that means anything to anybody.
Okay, do you know any of them's actual birthday, or have you ever been in the same room as any of them?
Most of them.
Clicking a friend button doesn't make someone your friend, Brian. I don't think that really qualifies on Facebook. Almost stalking,
like
really.
30, I think. 30 or something on Facebook. Hello, Beverly.
Tis flat.
Good morning,
It's good.
Ruhif. I found that clip for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I should get that one.
Homework for Ruthie.
9, 56, 21. Oh, what do I do? What do
Bev,
I do?
Did you ever figure out if all plumb lines are parallel to each other?
Blue Marble's argument. Like, why would I need to verify Blue Marble's argument? You should have a go at trying to do that. I personally can't think of a way that you could possibly ever check to see whether plumb lines are parallel.
You could try thinking.
Blue Marble makes
Yes.
this argument, though, right?
That's what I was going to say, that one. Yeah,
Well,
thinking the operative word there.
Did you hear Blue Marble's argument?
You must have dug deep for that, Bev. That was years ago.
It was on the end of one of the first True Level
Video.
bitch
Yeah.
things.
Cats.
What do you think about that, Ruhif? Do you still feel the same way about it?
Oh, I can't remember what I said. And I
Just click the play.
don't care.
Click play.
I'm playing my game.
Click play. You asked me to go and find it, so I did find it for you.
Okay, good for you. I don't care. I don't want to play word games.
Well, they're the words that you said.
Yeah, I don't care.
You said words.
You don't
Ruthie.
care about what you said.
Shame on you for saying words.
That's good to know that that's one of the ethics that we have.
Oh.
Oh, level 20, the 2 pair. Smoked.
You still playing poker, Ruhif?
No, this is it's a solo poker called Balatro, and it's magnificent.
Weird that, because my son was telling me about that the other day.
It is a great game.
So, Bev, what about the surface of water at rest? Is the surface of water at rest flat?
We use water levels, and they're tools that establish horizontal plane of reference. And like Ruhif says, that can be proved. Like, you can do tests to prove that level is horizontal.
Right?
It's just that there's a really weird group of people that think that's got something to do with the shape of the Earth, other than actually measuring elevations, right?
I've never used water levels to do that. I've only used them to provide an equal elevation at 2 points.
Yep, with zero slope between the two. And that line, if you want, or plane, between any 2 points, if they're at an equal elevation, will be called a horizontal plane of reference. That's what we call it.
I'd call it level.
Yeah.
And is that horizontal plane of reference perpendicular to plumb at all locations?
Horizontal and vertical are perpendicular. That's the relationship between the two of them. Yes.
Are you
Maybe in
are
the
you
middle.
speaking? Are you speaking from experience? I mean, what have you done that involves distances significant enough to totally blow bollocks into your word salad there?
What do you mean? Like,
I mean, are you
horizontal.
dealing with 10 and 20 mile and 30 mile observations and measurements?
No, you don't measure level over using observations over those sort of distances.
My point. Not
That's your
speaking
point,
from
is it?
experience.
No, I say you don't measure level or establish a level over 20 and 30 miles. That's not the way those sort of tools work. I mean, you know that.
There's
The
that experience talk.
question is that Ruhif asked about, the other day, that it can be proved that level is horizontal, right? It's just afterwards, once you say, like Ruhif asked me years ago, right? Would I use that to establish the shape of the Earth? And I said, no, I wouldn't. I mean, why would you? It's just something that happens in reality that is provable.
The sphericity is?
Happens
I agree.
happens on the real globe, right? That we all live on, all happy together. And nobody would be tempted to use level being horizontal to forcibly have a go at each other in a false dichotomy, would they? That'd be ridiculous.
So it sounds like you're agreeing that the surface of a large body of water at rest is not flat, right?
Yeah, it's like would you say that the large body of water at rest, where would that be?
Well, wherever it is, there's things approximating that all over Earth.
There's planes approximating it.
Okay, so if I buy a precision water level, and in the instructions, it can be used for measuring level or flatness, not both. And it says right in there, and in the instructions for this commercially available tool, it says, and other factors, including the curvature of the Earth, using the tables provided. So I'm really trying to figure out, which is it, Bev?
I don't know. Like, I'd say a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. But if you say you can, measure the curvature with it, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. So it does both. It does. It establishes a horizontal plane of reference, provable, and I suppose you could prove that it measures the curvature of the Earth, could you? Because if it can be done, right, we can give these tests to Dr. Shiva, MIT guy, right, and we can prove level to be contradictory. That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be a breakthrough for science, that modern science.
Oh yeah, knock yourself out, man.
Well, you'd have to come up with the one about the curvature, right? Because we've already got the test to show that level is horizontal. Like, as Ruhif said, I mean, he'd agree with that one. Would Ruhif agree with Larry? Is it like Larry? Would you agree with Larry's test if you were to do one about level showing the curvature of the Earth? Yeah,
you can measure curvature with a theodolite. Yes,
with the theodolite. No, we're talking about a level, not theodolite. Theodolite just measures angles.
Hang on.
But just because you don't like it, that's the whole issue. Is you don't like.
I do quite like theodolites, though, Larry. That's the thing. It's not that I don't like them. I do like them. They just measure angles. They're not levels. So they're completely different tool. You don't want to be getting them mixed up.
Well, they do have levels in them, right?
A spade and a fork. What was you building anyway, Terry?
I'm building the V8 for the wagon.
What did you want to ask me about it?
Just anything that I might not think of.
What? How far you going? Rebore?
Yeah, it's
Rebond?
40. It's got 40 thou pistons already in it,
Right.
so I've got to find out how much more I can take out of it.
Normally
So,
they make them up to plus 60s.
okay.
So you can probably you've got another overbore you can do.
What size is it, Terry?
Oh, it's only the baby 253.
253. Oh, I'm not. I think you might only go to a mill on those. Oh, it's probably someone will make them now though. But I think going over a mill can sometimes be problematic. I just don't remember how.
Yeah, well, they've already got 40 thou pistons in them, and I don't think they're original pistons if they're 40 thou over.
Definitely not.
Oh no. Unless you've got a problem with wall thickness. Cast block is it, I take it? Or
Yeah, cast, yeah.
Don't normally have a problem with old engines for that sort of thing though. Our Toyotas are all chrome moly. So we can't rebore them.
I think you mean Nickersill. Chrome moly's just mild seal. Nickersill liner, I think is what you're talking about. Electrolysis.
Yeah, we can't. Well, we can get them sleeved, but we have a lot of fucking problems with them breaking the blocks at the bottom because it leaves them really thin. And when you start sticking like 400, 450 horsepower through them, it distorts the block. No, you won't have a problem.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, I've got the engine that's in the wagon now, and I haven't even pulled that one apart to check to see if that one's been played with or not. So I'm doing that. I'm doing this engine first, and then when I pull the other one out and pull it down, I'll have a look at it, see what its story is.
You're going to do the head as well, the heads.
Yeah, I've got to do them for unleaded as well.
Oh, have you?
And I'll put a mild cam in it as well.
Right. Fucking hell, it's still running on the old cast fucking seats, is it?
Yeah. The old unleaded. Yeah, I've had to put the flash lube in it all.
Yeah, continue going.
And the fucking thing,
Geo.
We call it ECV. Existential cognitive veiling.
Yeah, Brian has a problem with listening when he's talking. Only one in, one out. He can't do both. There are some who actually doubt whether he can listen, other than a few words per sentence.
So, Ruhif, you've got no comment on the level being horizontal thing and shape of the earth? Because it seems like the topic is like all about that, really. Weird that you don't want to address the comments that you said years ago.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
We ain't
Almost
still
like I don't want to
debating
play
that.
your stupid fucking word games, Bev.
What, like
Your
rehashing old
words,
conversations?
Your words, Rufus.
You remember what you said 10 years ago, Rufi?
Diabetes. I gotta get woo-woo inside. All right, I'm going to make some dinner. I shall be back a bit later. See you.
Yeah, see you
Making
later,
dinner for the dog or for yourself?
He's gone.
Yeah. It's awkward for people to talk about these sort of things. Because I can remember that years ago. Like, I came into this arena just pointing out to people that level is horizontal. That was it. And people called me all sorts of things because of that.
They didn't, did they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. In fact, the guy that brought me in, that called me child abuser, just got a trip to America to do a debate. Secular humanism. Weird that, isn't it? Because he was talking about harming that thing. And yeah, he administered that teaching your child about level being horizontal was harmful to them. And like, nobody really does that. You just use the tool for measuring elevation changes of the land. Nobody really wants to talk about that or anything, but as soon as we go out of here, it seems like everybody wants to use level being horizontal to, I don't know, make leaps of logic, come to really weird conclusions.
It's got to the point for me, Bev. I don't even discuss it anymore. You know, it's fucking ridiculous to think anything other than what you're saying.
Yeah, but in reality, on the real globe, level is horizontal. I mean, it doesn't matter to anybody else outside of this arena, right? That's just something that happens in reality. Nobody else associates it with the shape of the earth. Just people in this arena get ultra triggered by it.
Yeah. I tell you what, whoever come up with the deception, they're a fucking clever people. They really are.
Is it not these people in this arena that get triggered by level being horizontal? Because there's no deception in level being horizontal. The deception comes in the conversations that surround it. And that, everyone's got to admit that that's been done by...
It's how they say horizontal is a curve. That absolutely fucking dumbfounds me, how they can let them words come out of their mouth. It's fucking ridiculous.
Talking around the issue, I think. Form of ECV. And it's only because that it is so real that level is horizontal that the problem's caused.
Yeah.
Like Ruhif said that in that thing, in that clip that I found for him, he was fine as long as, you know, we proved that level was horizontal and that didn't do anything about the shape of the earth, because I don't think it does. Still don't think it does. I just said it to the wrong person, and I was unaware of that sort of thing. As far as I've seen, right, there's not going to be any surveyors or anything coming into this arena, because what happens to them is the moment they say level is horizontal, they get labelled.
Yeah.
Talking about reality can have some strange effects on certain people. Now, over the years, right, I think I've sussed it out, I think that these people, the globe aficionados, they're the ones that have give level being horizontal to flat earth. They've handed it over to flat earth. And because of that reason, they can't find out that level is indeed horizontal. it's too painful for them.
One question, Bev, if I may. Who uses level is horizontal the most? Is it not you?
What uses it the most? No, I think people that actually use the tools, they're the ones that use it the most.
Yeah, but like people hear those words from your mouth the most. So when you say that we handed the words over to flat earthers, and you are the one using it the most, doesn't that mean that you're a flat earther?
No, because I haven't given level being horizontal to flat Earth. I just have it on the real globe in reality, where we proved it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're
so
making my
it's
point
not
for me.
flat Earth, but just recently, flat earthers like Nathan Oakley and like quite a few of the other flat earthers, they have taken the fact that they now think that straight and all measurements involving straight, which would include horizontal, that's flat Earth. So the flat earthers have sort of picked this up as though, as though it is flat Earth, which I would imagine that would make the guys that have given it to flat Earth in the mind enraged.
But it's not us that's given it to flat Earth, is it? Because
I don't know. Have you? It's a personal thing, right? Have you given level being horizontal to flat Earth in your mind, right? At least.
I kind of love the way that you keep interrupting me because
can you answer that question? Because that's what it's about. I haven't. I can say level being horizontal is a thing in reality. I haven't given it to flat Earth. Have you?
Well, you actually have given it to flat Earth because you started repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, and then you gave it to flat Earthers, and now they are repeating it. They didn't get it from us; they got it from you. So that alone proves the lie.
They might have got it from you guys arguing with me about
hold
it.
on, I was still talking, so I'm not sure why you're talking, Bev. So I can clearly prove that it was you that gave flat Earthers level being horizontal. But still, even that is not exactly accurate, because you were a flat earther a couple of years ago.
No,
and then you got the words. Yes, you were. We have the screenshots to prove it. Yes, you were a flat earther a couple of years ago.
I think you'll find that Tis Globe was done over a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I know that was before. That was before you got the Tis Globe lie in your mouth.
We did the realizing Euclid test way before that. 21.
Yeah. So here's my question. Here's my question. Did you start saying level is horizontal before or after you were a flat earther?
I've never been a flat
You cannot
earther.
even answer that.
The Earth is not flat, and I've always, as far as since knowing about level being horizontal, since I was about 21-ish, that we actually studied it. But the latest studies of level being horizontal, in the last few years, right? The proper study of level.
Well, as the screenshot shows,
again, I will put this question to you. Have you given level being horizontal to flat Earth in your mind?
So, as the screenshot that Space Pope just posted shows, you were saying that the Earth is flat. So you were a flat earther back then.
Right, okay. Now can we answer the question? Have you given level being horizontal to flat Earth in your mind?
Yes, we can. I can answer the question. You gave that phrase to flat earthers. You have already heard me say it, so I'm not sure why you keep asking me the question.
Okay, so have you given it to flat earther? Then
you gave it to flat earthers.
Okay, right now let's suppose. Let's say there's a test in reality that proves that level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Would you say that means it's flat Earth?
Of course not. Nothing can prove that it's a flat Earth. Although you used to say that it is.
You can prove that level is horizontal, can we?
I would love to see that test. I don't think you can show that test.
Okay. So let's assume there is a test. Obviously, because we can't do it right now.
Let's not assume.
Would you do this test?
So it's an interesting game because you say, let's just assume this. So you're just going to assert it and assume it.
No, I'm not just going to assume it. I'm talking about
us
designing a test. Because Larry, I've got a test that will prove level is horizontal, and Ruhif knows that. He agrees with it, right? I'm not going to say it proves the shape of the Earth in any way or other. I'm just going to do a test to prove that level is horizontal. Now, you guys, Larry, particularly earlier, said he could come up with a test to prove it curves. Which would make, if we can have these two tests and put them side by side, we could prove that both level is horizontal and it curves. Now, that could be a test to prove that horizontal, in reality, curves. Couldn't it?
Yeah.
Or the fact that people associate horizontal or level with the curve.
Yeah, it could be a test if you just actually did it and stopped just saying, let's assume it. Let's not assume it. Let's actually do it.
I've done a test.
Yeah, no, you haven't.
What do you mean I haven't?
You didn't do it in this conversation. You just said, well, let's just assume. I'm not going to give it to you. You're just going to have to buy my words and agree with me. Let's just assume it, and let's not do it here. I don't think that's
honest. There's a guy called Dr. Shiva who's asking Flat Earth Dave, right, for tests. That would be able to finish this conversation once and for all. Now, is level being horizontal that thing that we're looking for? Or can we, at least, like Ruhif said, take it off the table for deciding shape of the Earth? Because I think you might find more people coming into the arena if we are all happy that level is horizontal as a baseline. Right, from there, we can then go on and do other things. Would
I don't honestly
help us come up with a test?
I don't honestly think that after TFE we need anything like that. The final experiment already proved that it's not a fucking flat Earth, and you already agree.
No, I already know it's not a flat Earth, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know that it's not a flat Earth, and then the final experiment also proved very, very nicely and without any holes. Yes, everybody should agree, and if they don't,
but that's what Dr. Shiva was saying today.
Then hold on, I might be still speaking. If they don't agree with that, then they have kind of critical thinking skills lacking in some department. So I don't think we need this hypothetical test. Why would you even if you're saying that level means we do not have terrain? Why would we need this test to prove that we don't have terrain?
We do have terrain. Like, nobody's saying that.
Yes, exactly.
That's what you've just done.
Exactly. So why do we? Yeah, but why do we need then this test that you're supposing to make to prove to us that it's not a flat Earth and we have terrain? Isn't that obvious?
We're not trying to prove it's not a flat Earth or that it is a flat Earth. We're just trying to get
what are you
level being horizontal, being able to be tested in reality.
Yeah, but you said that we are using it as a foundation for something else. So what?
No, I'm saying certain people have handed that to flat Earth. That's what I'm saying.
No one is handing it. The only one handing it to flat Earth is you.
You've not given it to flat Earth.
You're handing it. You're handing it to flat Earth.
I'm not handing it to flat Earth at all.
Of course you are. It's the line that you repeat. No one I don't even have the line in my mouth or mind.
That the Earth's flat,
I don't say that Earth level is horizontal, and I don't think about level is horizontal. So how can I give to flat Earth something that I don't have? The line level is horizontal. It belongs to you. So it's yours to give or not give to flat Earth, and you have given it to flat Earth. I have
let's
consistently,
just do
I
a
can consistently
hypothetical,
prove it.
right?
If we look at who says it, it's you. So it's yours to give to Flat Earth. It's not us giving it to Flat Earth.
I'm not giving it to Flat Earth.
Of course,
All I'm saying is,
Oakley, you have given it
can
to
we
Flat Earth.
agree? Can we agree that it's 2025? In reality, we can prove that level is horizontal. Can we agree on that?
I don't
At
think
least.
we can agree on it because you will never do this in practice. So your cowardice and inability to do anything practical means that we cannot do it. We cannot do it because you're too coward to actually do it. So yes, my answer to that question is we cannot do it. You would be too coward to put any of this into practice and do any practical tests, Bev. So we cannot do it. We cannot test it.
Can we count you out of this conversation then and see if anybody else wants to
I would
come
like to chime in. Yeah.
No, we cannot count me out. I would.
Well, I would like to see what flat earthers proposed to Dr. Shiva.
Right.
And Dr. Shiva said he would put it past a panel of, for investigation, get it published.
Yep.
And determine its plausibility and then execute it. So when the flat earthers come up
with anything,
when flat earthers meticulously outline the test, I'd like to hear that.
Okay. Now, what happens, right? Let's say, for instance, right, flat earthers have come to some sort of thing that level being horizontal is flat Earth, and what happens if the flat earthers were to propose a test, right, to Dr. Shiva about level being horizontal? Now, would the globe earthers and the MIT professionals and everything of the other group, right, would they be able to agree that level being horizontal is flat Earth to start off with? Because I think that's what you'd need to be able to do, right? You'd need to be able to go round and ask people whether level being horizontal is flat Earth or not. Otherwise, it's not worth trying to do a test. Like I say, it's something that happens in reality, right? On the real globe. So I would say that that's fine. I mean, let's do a test with level being horizontal, but I don't think it'll prove flat Earth. But let's do it, right? If everyone agrees that level being horizontal is flat Earth, or it isn't. It's like one of these things, right?
No, it goes back to the question.
A dichotomy. I'd say it's a true dichotomy.
It goes back to the question of what is that test, and then we'll look at that test and see if it in fact is determinant.
Is it a true dichotomy to start off with, though? Because if it's not a true dichotomy, it's not worth doing within a scientific thing. It's not even worth contemplating a test. But if we prove that we can either prove that level is horizontal or level is not horizontal, right? That's the dichotomy. And it would be a true dichotomy, wouldn't it? Can we at least agree that level is
just
horizontal or it is not horizontal?
Okay, and outline the test, because I contend that you will not prove that level is horizontal, that test will fail. And then you will be stuck with level being a constant elevation of a 4,000 mile radius and horizontal being a tangent to the radius to that arc at one point. That's what I think the result will be if the test is a proper construction.
Okay, so then you think that we won't be able to prove that level is horizontal, and that will prove that horizontal is a tangent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right, now, do you think, Larry,
and the
do
test
you think that the MIT professionals
and the test
will go along with that?
But I have no idea but the test, once it's meticulously outlined, mechanically outlined as to what will be done, what will be the checks, what will be the instruments, what will be the tools, what will be the methodology, what will be the analysis. If the MIT people will review it and say the FE has a valid test, and the results could go one of two ways.
Right. Well, Bob, the science guy, did a video on this, and he came up with 10 people that, to take up the MIT professional things. Now, do you think we could at least get those 10 people to agree that level being horizontal is flat Earth? Because that's it's not worth doing a test that's a binary, right? True dichotomy. Would we get them to agree that if level is horizontal, that's flat Earth? Do you think?
I guess, because if the outline is properly spelled out, we're going to have the two scenarios, and if you can show that a constant elevation is a horizontal over a significant distance, if you can prove that, and the methodology proposed stands up to scrutiny, yeah, go for it.
That proves that level is horizontal, right? Now,
if you
level
propose
being
the test,
horizontal, have you given that, Larry? Have you given that to flat Earth?
No, I continually bring my measurements over very long distances, and then you people like you tell me you can't do that over long distances. So that kind of puts me out, because I work in the real world over hundreds and hundreds of square miles at a time, and you don't like that.
Yeah. Let's say that we do this test, right, and we find out that.
Well, you say this test. Okay, you say this test. You're going to have to be specific. What is that test?
The test that would be designed by the
flat
earthers.
Yeah, I want to hear that design.
The flat earthers would be.
No, I want to hear the design
to do this.
I want to hear the design.
Well, yeah, we're not actually talking about the design just yet. We're talking about pre-planning, right? That we're trying to find out what the test would be that everyone could agree on that would solve this issue for all time.
Yes, what the test would be.
Right.
Yes, and the design. That's what I want to hear.
Is level being horizontal that test? Is that the thing that should be targeted? Or is there something else?
No, that's probably a fine. That's a fine proposal. Yeah, go right ahead. Put that in the executive statement at the beginning of your design.
Right. Okay. So a test to prove that level is either horizontal or not. It should be the test that everyone should. Okay.
Be sure to forward that to the to the panel, so that
to the arena, and let everyone know that is the thing. Now, can we get people to agree? Should we ask? How would you do this? Would you ask flat earthers whether level being horizontal is flat Earth?
I would put it. I would put it to the
earthers whether level being horizontal.
I would put
is flat Earth.
That's the purpose of the conference with Shiva and the flat earthers and the globe earthers, are to iron out these things that will be agreed upon in that conference. I cannot say, oh, can we get? No, it's there. Need to convene the panel, because otherwise what we say doesn't mean shit, because the panel, which has been proposed by Dr. Shiva, that'll involve Weiss and a cluster from both sides. Yeah. Let them agree on it. I mean, you don't want to hear me,
because it's a false dichotomy thing.
No. Well, then
involve everyone, right?
Put that in your document.
Members of the general public as well.
Put that in your document.
Whether they think the level tool being horizontal is flat Earth or not, right? What do you think they consider it?
I don't know. I don't want to involve, quote, the general public and construction level size areas as being level like a pool table, therefore Earth flat, because the pool table's level and the pool table's flat, because a pool table is not an analog that you can extend out for dozens and dozens of miles in all directions.
Do you think we could make? Do you think we'd be able to prove that a pool table was a horizontal plane?
Yeah, pool table. Yeah, fine. Because at that scale, yeah. Go ahead.
And would you say that the pool table? Would you say that the pool table was level?
Yes, I would. A pool table.
Level.
Yes.
In that case,
given the few square, given a few
horizontal,
given a few square feet, it is indistinguishable, therefore indeterminate.
Right. So, but you just said it was like it either is,
or it is
not.
As you were starting
to nature of these things.
And as you were starting to talk on top of me, I said, yes, in a few square feet, it is indistinguishable, therefore indeterminate.
Oh, so you say you couldn't prove that the pool table was level and horizontal? Remember, it's 2025. I mean,
yeah, I know that is far too small an area,
isn't it?
That is far too small an area to investigate.
Okay. So they wouldn't be able to agree, you reckon, that these scientists, they wouldn't be able to agree that level being horizontal on a pool table was a proof that level was horizontal?
Well,
it would have to go a little bit bigger.
If we're going to talk about the shape of the Earth, we cannot be constrained.
No, we're not talking about the shape of the Earth.
No, I am.
We're going to start off with level being horizontal.
24.
So have you given, Larry, I'll say this again, have you given level being horizontal to flat Earth?
Never once.
Right, so this discussion about level being horizontal has got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, has it? This is just a test.
You know why?
Whether we can or cannot prove that level is horizontal.
Yes, you cannot prove level is horizontal because it has been long since proven that horizontal and level in the discussion of the Earth in geosciences are distinctly different.
Okay. So can that be proved then?
Yes, it has been proven with the orbit of every fucking satellite.
Okay. Brilliant. I think
every 10-hour flight in an airplane.
I mean,
every fucking cruise ship.
Even people in reality can get involved in this one, can't they?
Yeah, well, go right ahead. Knock yourself out. Get on the panel with Shiva. You'll be a star of the show.
No, I'm not interested in that. I'm
I know
thinking
you're not.
we can finally, for once and for all, take level being horizontal off the table, because
it's been off the table. It has never been on the real table.
That have given it to flat Earth.
I don't know. No, I've never found that in citation of any integrity at all.
What, the level is horizontal is flat Earth thing?
No, just level and horizontal being the same
all the time.
No, level and horizontal is not cited anywhere ever in the proper context of Earth sciences.
Well, just the other day, I had somebody talking with ChatGPT, and they managed to bend horizontal. They put a curvature to horizontal. Like, why?
Well, I don't find that
they do that.
I don't find that in any citation. ChatGPT is not a reference.
I know, but why would somebody want to talk to ChatGPT to try and make ChatGPT curve horizontal? Why would they want to do that?
To show how stupid ChatGPT is and how dangerous it is to use that as a response.
Right. Do you think that's what he was doing? He was
maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I cannot think for somebody else's actions. But one plausible explanation would be to make ChatGPT show its stupidity.
Yeah, I think that's because some people have separated level from horizontal. They've made them different. And that causes problems. I mean, have you done that?
Have I done?
Because I mean, I've been around these arenas for quite.
Have
a while.
I done what?
Have you separated level from horizontal? Are they different things?
In my whole fucking career, yes.
Right. Okay. There you go. See, I don't. I think they're the same. I think a level is a tool that establishes.
I know you think they're. I know you think they're the same. But I know you think they're the same, but you're not speaking from a valid experience, nor are you citing valid sources. Because you have imaginometry.
Can I?
Yeah. Imaginometry bridges the gap.
May I chime in?
Please do.
Is that I can't hear that though.
Yeah. So I would like to ask the question that I have personally. Like I don't know if it's flat or a globe. Like I honestly don't at this point. You know what I mean?
Bandy.
Like,
Yeah, you're roboting a bit, Bandy.
That's not Bandy from
No.
years ago.
Not the bandit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not Bandit.
No, Bandsaw. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not him.
Wrong accent, anyway.
You know that when you talk about is there a test? And the test I heard, for several years has always been build the wall. And every specification and description of build a wall from Brian Mullins right on through the whole lot of them is the LIGO vacuum tubes, but you don't like that because of authorship. So knock yourself out.
Well, no, I was just suggesting that level being horizontal is sort of I think seems to be the common ground that we could agree on. Most of the people around this arena have given level being horizontal to flat Earth.
Yes, and I
can't imagine why.
I have no doubt that you cannot prove that horizontal and level are the same when dealing with significant distances. That'll be an implausible outcome of any test you come up with.
Like trying to prove that parallels.
Anything, yeah, knock yourself out because we all know that vertical is radial to the planet. As long as
you
you're
can't go to infinity and that sort of stuff. It's like mathematical complications for proof purposes. Do you think we could prove that a straight line lies within a plane? At least.
Yeah, but that's not germane to what you're talking about.
Would that be flat Earth, or would that just be,
That's not germane to the topic.
Because if level is horizontal, then
it's not.
Wouldn't that be a similar thing to a proof of a straight line lying within a plane?
Again, not germane. I don't know why you keep bringing up, simple geometries when we're dealing with spherical geometries.
Right. So could we prove that that's a straight line, or would it be straight in both?
I don't know what you could prove. I don't know what you could prove. So that's why there's discussion of putting forth in a proper forum the flat Earth designed test. And then we will predict its outcome and we'll see whose prediction comes out right.
Okay. Well, I'm not a flat earther, right? But I think I could come up with a test.
Well, go ahead. Well, submit your proposal in detail.
I think it would open it up to a
put your proposal in detail.
Crowd, right? But could we agree that a test for level being horizontal would be a good test, and would that fit the bill for what Dr. Shiva was asking?
It depends on what you propose.
A test to show whether either level is horizontal or level is not horizontal.
Well, as I said, put it in your executive summary to your outline of your experiment that you're going to submit to the panel. But you say you don't want to do that, so there's no point in furthering this conversation.
It is going back and forth.
Yeah, no, I'm literally just pointing out here that there is a test that could be designed and done within reality. Now, I mean,
unless you want to tell us what that
would this sort of thing be able to cost?
Unless you want to tell us,
come up with the idea of how to make this test happen.
Unless you want to tell us what that, unless you want to describe that test, there's no point. Because you say you some hypothetical that there could be this test. Well, I need to hear what that test is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's come up with as many as possible. Could you come up with a test, Laurie? I mean, you've got the most experience, haven't you?
Yeah, I've already got the measurement data. So, but people don't like it. So it's not a test we agree.
No.
So hey, wait, I was talking. So it's not a test we agree. I was talking.
Dr. Shiva.
I was talking. And so it's not a test we agree on. Then that's fundamental. So a different test will have to be performed or outlined to be performed because I only have the geodetic sciences, which has been proven 1,000 million, jillion, thousand, trillion times over.
They've already done tests, though. You do have a test that you have performed to show that level, I don't know, level is not horizontal. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Okay.
My measurements for 35 fucking years.
And could you write this test up and propose it to Dr. Shiva?
Yeah, I would just pull out the Ordnance Survey UK textbook and say, there you go. Tested, done.
Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, again, that's something
this is
again.
MIT professional, right?
Right. So
so he's not going to take that, Larry. That's ridiculous.
Right. You're right. You're right. My proposal is not agreed upon. Yeah, but my proposal is not agreed upon. So therefore, we're going to have to come up with your proposal and see if we agree upon it.
No, I don't think that's the way this sort of thing works. This is the body of science is trying to work out a way to solve an issue.
Science compels you.
Yeah, well, you've got.
Okay, I'm going to go with every.
Come on the back of.
I'm going to go with the geodetic surveys of every industrialized country for the past 250 years.
Okay, this Dr. Shiva he's become frustrated, right? Because he's seen the final experiment. He's seen all of the proposals that have been and they've gone. And the flat earthers, at least Jaren, right? He's totally tisglobed it, right? Now, he's seen the frustration because he's seen that there are flat earthers like Flat Earth Dave and Flatzoid and Nathan Oakley that haven't. They don't believe the final experiment, seeing the sun circles in the sky. That isn't enough for them. So he's asking Dave, what can we do to solve this issue?
Yeah, and the first order of business is to come up with something we agree upon.
Yeah, and do we agree? I don't, but do we agree that there is a test that can be done about level being horizontal? Because obviously, flat earthers have now taken that as theirs. Have the globe earthers given it
then
to flat
outline
Earth?
this test. Outline the test.
Well, is the true dichotomy of level being horizontal or not similar to flat or spherical?
Both can be true. It's not a dichotomy. It's not a paradox. Okay. It's only an orientation perpendicular to plumb, which means if you have a spherical object and you have something that is attracting in all directions from the core, then level would be the outer circumference. No problem. If it's flat and it's perpendicular to plumb, then it'll be parallel to the surface and a horizontal line. The horizontal line on our sphere is going to be horizontal at one point and one point only. It's called a tangent. Why are we going over this again for the 50,000th time?
I post, right from Ordnance Survey UK, and I post citations right from the Ordnance Survey UK, which is over 100 years old.
It's absolutely insanity. You understand the concept, an orientation perpendicular to plumb. If I make a horizontal line, which we have, the most horizontal at one point, flat, plane, straight as an arrow object in the universe that we know of, and it's only horizontal at one point. It's only level at one point. Why is that? If you can come up with an answer, you might have a case here.
Does sound ridiculous.
You don't. And it's very easy to measure.
Zanick,
don't feed the trolls. Don't feed the trolls.
You mean what? Are you telling me that, Ruhif?
Yes, Bev.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you.
Well, he's come along with a point horizontal, hasn't he? Which is a bit ridiculous.
I will do this. I will do an Antarctica type of plan here, where I pay for your flight.
Because he's sort of saying that horizontal can't be a plane.
No, horizontal can certainly be a plane. It can be a plane on a flat Earth if the Earth is flat. So let me do this. I will take
So
you
you've given horizontal planes to Flat Earth, have you?
If you think you're right, I'll fly
did
you
he
out
just
to Slack.
do that, right? Everyone,
can you stop
is that
talking
what
for a
he
second?
just did? Because I would give horizontal planes to Flat Earth.
No, horizontal plane. If the Earth is flat, you can have a horizontal plane because down perpendicular.
In reality, you can have a horizontal plane.
No, you can't because you can measure it not to ever happen ever on the Earth. There's never been a horizontal plane on the Earth.
You can have a horizontal plane on Earth.
There's
in
no
reality.
horizontal planes on the Earth. Absolutely not.
Is it popping now, Geo?
Only horizontal at one spot, because everywhere else on that plane will be an inclination. It'll be inclined to the center, to the point where it's a tangent to the surface. So why don't I let me fly you out all the way to California to the Slack, and we'll go there and we'll do the. And if I'm right, I will pay for your. I mean, if I'm right, you will pay for your flight and your hotel and everything. But if I'm wrong, I'll pay for everything: your food, your flight out here, everything. And you'll be able to test it any way you would like to. You set up your tests. We go over them. It'll be to suffice to your convincing of right or wrong here, and then we will conduct the experiment.
With a test to show whether level is horizontal. Do you think that we can do that?
Yes, of course we can.
Okay. So we can design a test in reality to prove whether level is horizontal or not.
Correct.
Brilliant.
I just got done telling you how this happens. If you have a horizontal line, that means you've established that horizontal plane or a line from a point where you have an orientation of this line or plane. Stop coughing and making noises. Perpendicular to plumb. We both agree that that's true. However, nowhere else on that line or horizontal plane will it be perpendicular to plumb. Only at one spot, because that's the tangent. Because all the forces.
You know he knows this, right, Zanick?
What's that?
You know that he knows this, right?
Yeah, well, we said, we started this off, Zanick, right, by saying that years ago, Ruhif agreed that level is horizontal, but that you can't use it to establish the shape of the Earth. I mean, this has been known for years.
I don't know, Ruhif. I don't think these guys are like this. They just are in denial. And they keep on trying to find different ways to object to our statements and evidence and mathematics and physics and science, and just goes on. They love it. They thrive on it. Yeah. They're convinced that the world is flat, and everything we come up with, they're going to object.
It's not flat, Zanick.
Well, not flat as far as having perturbations in its shape. We're talking about flat as far as the surface being a complete sphere.
If level is horizontal, is that flat Earth to you?
If level is horizontal and it's level and flat everywhere, then yes, the Earth would be flat.
Well, it's not, right? Level is horizontal everywhere.
It's not, though.
And the Earth's not flat.
You can, like I said, you can find straight objects that are long enough, and you can measure those objects to only be level at one point, and one point only. However, the opposite
only
of that,
level at one point.
Level and horizontal. Flat is just a shape. Straight.
Flat's not a shape.
Straight, yes, flat.
How long have you been in this, Zanick?
Way longer than you.
Yeah, but flat's not a shape, right?
Flat is a shape. It's an attribute
flat's
of a shape.
Not a shape.
Flat is an attribute of a shape. It's a characteristic of a shape. It's a property of a shape. You can have a horizontal line, a straight line. Let's just stay in two dimensions. You can make it simpler. Straight line, that is straight. That straight line will only be level at one point on the Earth. And you can prove this. And by the way, you can do the opposite of this test. You can find level on water that is curved. This water that is level everywhere over the surface, anywhere you measure it, it's level, but that level line is curved in order for that to happen.
See, this is one of those things I think we did years ago. Like, a water level is a tool for establishing
orientation perpendicular to plumb. It's an order.
But there's two ends. You've got end A and end B. But you said it's only level at one point.
Correct.
Right. So which point is it level at? A?
At the tangent point. At the tangent point, the center point.
Where's the tangent point?
The point where the bubble is completely in the center of the two lines.
The water level.
The water level is
water.
The water level, which has a bubble in it, which is forced to the center.
Zanick, how long have you been in this?
Making the level perpendicular.
Does he do this on purpose?
Perpendicular to plumb at one point, but the water level,
the water
level itself will not be perpendicular to plumb at the ends, only at the center. If you had an accurate
having a bubble in a water level will invalidate the tool for.
You're actually kind of being
doing the job that it's meant to do.
You just picture if we had a magnetic ball and we were having the same discussion. We could talk about these concepts very easily, but your brain is programmed to this flat Earth type of.
It's not flat. The Earth's not flat.
And it's just insanity. Listen, if we had a basketball made out of a magnetic material, and we had a ferrofluid that we poured over it, it would have a shape to it. It would conform to the shape. And if we could measure this direction of plumb on this ball, it would always be pointing toward the center of it. No different than we're talking about with the Earth being a sphere and having all the directions, all the vectors of down.
Is Zanick the best person to be talking? I mean, you wouldn't put Zanick forward as your 10, would you? To Dr. Shiva.
Who's this Dr. Shiva guy?
You not seen it?
No.
It was one of Flat Earth Dave's interviews that he did.
All right.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Dr. Shiva. I do remember that. Oh yeah, it's coming back to me. That was a shit show.
Yeah. But only because Dave couldn't think of a test. Couldn't even get 10 people together, I don't think.
Is it on Dave's channel?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
It was pretty funny.
2 or 3 weeks ago. Ish.
ITO reach.
But he was. That's what
Dave,
he was.
Dave was being.
Right? He was trying to book it into his diary where they could get together to sort of work out this test.
Well, problem
is the whole idea was
Dr. Shiva from MIT said, "Well, let's put together a panel, and you could and look at the design of the proposed experiment, and then we'll look at its construct and what it could determine, and if it's approved, we'll go ahead with the test. But it has to be agreed upon by both sides, and it has to be a determinant test. So it'll have to outline instrumentation, methodology, analysis, and not just saying these words like, oh, and then Dave, of course, went off on, something else. And Dr. Shiva kept going, no, let's stick with designing the test that we both agree upon. So we'll get a panel, we'll design the test that we both agree on, and then we'll, including the methodology, instrumentation, and all the details to see what it will determine, how it will determine the a priori error estimates, and all the factors which go into a proper experiment. And then Dave, had this little droopy face because he said that won't work. And they set a date, I think like June 4th or something, for a panel to come together for an MIT review of an FE described test.
Right. He had the panel, the idea, he had the time, the date, everything. And then the problem with this conversation, if you listen to it, you kind of got the guy a little bit of deer in the headlights of these concepts. Only flat earthers and these round earth debate channels really kind of understand that kind of terminologies and language. He hasn't studied it. He doesn't care. All he wants, he's a scientist, and he's a good one. He's a PhD physicist. So he was going to be able to set this thing up to whatever you propose. Let's analyze it scientifically, set up the test. We all agree to it, put it all on paper, and then go do it, and then see what we come up with. And I think that was
wouldn't it be a brilliant idea, right? To actually, like when Dave turns up with no test, wouldn't it be a great idea for Dr. Shiva to have a test and say, "What do you think about this one, then, Dave? I know you couldn't think of anything, but what about this one? Would you agree on this? Would you agree on this one, then?" Like, surely there must be.
Dave was scattergunning, talking about why do we see this and why do we see that? What about this measurement, that measurement? He was scattergunning.
Dr. Shiva out with something.
Hold on. I'm talking about. He said, I don't care. Let's just find one of them. focus on one test you think is compelling. Let's set up the parameters to it and conduct this experiment and do it multiple times, have witnesses and have the procedures in place and have the hypothesis clearly stated and all the experiments that can support the hypothesis and move forward with it. And then have the panel all reach a decision whether they think it is supporting the hypothesis or not supporting the hypothesis.
Yeah. Well, I think that this room, right, of all of the different rooms in all of the other Discord servers, or at least everything that I know, I've been to Clubhouse, I've been to all of these other people to talk to people. This room is the most, let's say it's got the most of both sides of the false dichotomy.
The most interaction for sure.
Yeah. So if this were ever to happen, like this agreement that Dr. Shiva was talking about, this would be the place for that to be tested, wouldn't it?
Sure, whatever you'd like.
So Dave should really be in here asking you guys, which is what, like, I'm not doing it on Dave's behalf. I'm more doing it on Dr. Shiva's behalf. Because I get a feeling that he actually wants to do something about this. He really wanted to solve the issue of why flat earthers can't accept anything, it seems.
No, he likes the challenge of doing things because he's a PhD physician, has a lot of experience in this field. He knows, and he gets gratification out of setting up experiments and showing the results of whether the evidence, the experiments support the hypothesis. He could care less what field it's in. He just wants to do it. He's offering his intellectual capabilities to be able to construct these kind of environments to be able to show evidence for or against someone's hypothesis, regardless of the field it's coming from. That's what he's good at.
What he was doing was he was pointing out the fact that flat earthers can't accept anything, and they won't be able to come up with anything to solve this issue, right?
Right,
now,
and that's exactly that's part of the point.
Proposing is that there are solutions. The flat earthers won't be able to come to these solutions.
What do you mean?
The flat earthers will not be able to design a test. They will not be able to formulate a hypothesis and all the descriptions required for a test that would survive examination by an erudite group of persons.
Could the other side come up with a test to prove their side? Like you said, Larry, you said you could come up with a test. Although you did just say you'd whap like an atlas or something on it.
No, what I said was that we would not agree on that test because mine has been done a zillion thousand million times and you've already rejected it. So obviously my contribution will be dismissed out of hand because my contribution, because my contribution stands on 250 years of geodetic science by every industrialized country in the world. So you dismiss that. So I have no contribution.
What are you talking about, Larry? Nobody's dismissed anything. We're just trying to
sort out
what the test would be.
Yeah, let's just get out there and measure it like I did, and then you didn't like it.
What? But you measured angles.
I did it without angles, over 520 miles. People didn't like it.
You measured 520 miles. Was that a linear distance?
Yes, the chord.
A straight line distance.
Yep.
Okay. So is that how easy it is to measure a straight line distance?
Yep.
Now, do you think Dr. Shiva? Well, like I said earlier, if we could prove that a straight line lies within a plane, is that enough to prove?
No, that's not germane. No, that's not germane.
Yeah, that's not.
That is completely outside the realm of what's trying to be.
520 miles.
Yes, I did measure. I measured three chords, straight line, point to point distance from A to B to C, and I looked at those three distances from A to C, A to B, and B to C, and I found that those three lengths did not lay in a plane. They made a triangle, the chords of which went through the Earth, and at the apex of the triangle was 13.5 kilometers below the surface of the Earth. By my measurements, without angles.
So you measured a triangle.
I measured, that lays in a vertical plane.
A vertical plane?
Yeah. That's how you measure curvature.
A triangle in a vertical plane.
Is this all
obviously that level of geometry and terminology escapes you. So that's why my contribution will never be agreed upon by someone like you.
Larry,
Bev,
how long you been doing this, Bev? Bev, how long you been doing this for?
3 chords. I was just imagining.
Yeah, the word vertical plane threw him.
Bev, how long you been doing this for? This seems all new to you. See, doesn't it feel funny when it gets thrown back at you?
Mentioned 3 points, A, B, and C.
Yeah, 3 points. You just connect them and you get a triangle. He's talking about that in a vertical plane.
Yeah, but he said he's got a vertical plane.
Why is this so? Why is this so foreign to you? And what's wrong with your understanding about straight lines being part of planes? That's also very, very rudimentary.
I mean, well,
of course.
We measure 3 points and make a vertical plane, and that proves.
He had chords that were 18 miles below the surface, connecting these
all 3 sides of this triangle.
3 points
below the surface.
Make all 3 points, when you connect them with straight lines, make a triangle.
Below the surface.
The distances between them do not work out.
And make a vertical plane below the surface.
Okay, keep in mind, all 3 points were on the surface of the Earth, and the distances for the 2 short distances of 260 miles added up to be longer than the distance from the longest distance from A to C. 3 chords, all 3 points on the surface of the Earth did not lay in a plane, on a horizontal plane. They did not lay in a horizontal plane. They did build a vertical plane.
What, the 3 points on the surface made a vertical plane?
Yeah. Welcome to Globe.
Well, I mean, that sounds totally Globe. I mean, how could that not be a globe? Everybody
exactly.
Try and work that one out. Yeah.
And I didn't even measure an angle.
That's about as globe as you could get, that, Larry.
That's right. That's right. And it's been rejected every time I bring it up.
Oh, man. Oops.
I mean, that's
because
weird.
It's fucking ridiculous. That's
Ruhif, would you reject Larry's 3 points on the surface making a vertical plane proof?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe up a cliff face.
I mean, like, I don't know. Dr. Shiva might have a go at that. Do you reckon? Can we write that one up, Larry? Because I would be interested in knowing how you can get 3 points on the surface to make a vertical plane.
Bev, don't take the piss out of him.
Well, Larry is the last.
Larry's mentally challenged. You must understand this.
He's the last globe surveyor.
How can you have a fucking vertical plane on a surface that's horizontal? The bloke's a fucking idiot, man.
Why do you think? What about reciprocal zenith angles? Is that easier to maybe mentally grasp?
Stolen concept proof. I mean, that's not much better, but I mean, I suppose.
Set up an easy, do it not over a flat over water. Do it up a mountain. You're like at the bottom of a ski lift, and you're looking up this 2,000-foot vertical rise ski run, and you can see the tower from the lift line. You set up your freaking theodolite, and you have a theodolite up top as well at where you would chair off the ski lift, and you sight each other. Now you're not looking over water, you're looking up and down. So if there's any refraction, of course, you're going through the gradient, so that's going to be minimized as well. And you measure this reciprocal zenith angle being greater than 180. How would you explain that? What could possibly happen to your sighting of the ski lift up on top of a mountain, 2,000 feet above you, maybe a mile away. How could you rectify that? That there would be this greater than 180 degrees angle between the sighting downward, which would be a obtuse angle, and then the acute angle looking up. I'm just curious as to what you think could cause that.
You think that would
as the
happen
dimension
in both
and
directions?
that very description I just posted as well. So yeah, but I went over 11 miles, and people have a problem with that.
It's peculiar, unless Bev, you can speak to why you would measure something like that. You could say refraction.
You suggest the angle measurement method, do you?
Well, isn't that going to be representative of a curved surface? Or
Larry did the straight line. You're going with a progression of that into
I went to
angle.
first principles.
Yeah, first principles, and I'm speaking to non-parallel plumb lines, which is a pretty good
so
indication.
vertical angles in the vertical plane. You're not not suggesting that we should measure angles on the azimuthal, are you?
No, these aren't not azimuthal measurements. These are just zenith angles.
Yeah, as I posted. And I also posted the vertical plane generated by 3 points on the surface, and the distances do not fall in a horizontal plane. They construct in a vertical triangle with a 13.4 kilometer Sagita.
Do you see what he drew there, Bev? He's got these.
Well, I see. Your angle measurements, could they be measured in the vertical plane of the points described by Larry on the surface?
We drive it. We actually measure. We know how far these distances are. We fly over them. These are known. This has been there for hundreds of years. We've known how far these places are from each other. Down from
fly
West
over
Virginia.
Distances.
Well, we fly. Yeah, we fly over this distance. Yeah,
from A
Maine.
to B.
Yeah, everyone knows you can drive it. You can map it out. You can step it off. You can do whatever.
But when I measured it, I measured it to better than 1 part in a million.
And Larry, tell me how you measured it, so he has a feel about why this isn't just, CGI cartoon.
Well, and there again, that'll be something he disagrees upon, because I used dual frequency phase differential GPS, which is ubiquitous and standard of the industry, state of the art.
And it's correlated with all the things that we can do rudimentary, like drive there or step it off.
Could we not measure the angles on the azimuthal plane as well, Larry? Because I can remember you once telling my son that you can measure more than 180 degrees in a triangle on the azimuthal plane.
Yeah, the spherical triangle, that is absolutely ubiquitous and normal and has been measured so many hundreds of thousands of times. Yes, that is absolutely observable, measurable, angular measurements, as long as the triangle is of sufficient square area, because small triangles, it is immeasurable, much like, considering a pool table, right? Okay, so you have to involve hundreds and hundreds of square miles in a single triangle.
But that can be done. That could be a test that we could present to Dr. Shiva.
Yes, it could. And fortunately, it's already been done, already been documented, so we don't even have to repeat it. We can just bring it forward.
Yeah. Well, again, the whole point was to bring all of these ideas to the table to show Dr. Shiva, and then they could all hash it out as to which ones they could agree on.
And as I said, my contribution, and
we're not about agreeing about anything.
Yeah, as I pointed out, my contribution to the discussion would be the 200 years of documented geodetic surveys. But you don't like them, so I have no contribution that you agree.
It's not that I don't like them. It's just I'm not really fussed about them. We're trying to talk about the test and what tests can be done.
Yeah,
and what people can end up agreeing on.
Yeah, it has to be agreed on by both sides, and will be reviewed and analyzed to come up with, approve the methodology, to verify its outcome, to certify one prediction over the other.
And we also do spherical access exercises as well, Bev. That's been talked about here for many years.
Spherical access. It's been talked about for years.
We have, right?
Yeah, fortunately, it's been done and documented and brought forth, but then they don't like it.
Well, I mean, it does sound a little bit silly because most people are knowing
Except it's
that
been
triangles
done.
have 180 degrees.
Yeah, except
obviously
it's been
you've been
done.
able to prove in reality.
No, it's been proven in reality because it's been done, physically measured in the field with proper instrumentation, proper procedure, over areas large enough for it to be evident, and it is absolutely documented. Not just a couple of times, hundreds of times.
Let's get that to Dr. Shiva. Because that would definitely sort it out, right?
Well, yeah, okay. Let me tell you this: it's been brought forth to other flat earthers, and they dismiss it. So it will not be something that's agreed upon on both sides.
I know flat earthers can't agree that the sun's in the sky.
Well, then that's the whole point of having.
I mean, that's why Dr. Shiva's trying to do this.
Yeah, that's
trying
the whole
to point
point.
out that what's something that we could get the flat earthers to agree on. I think people being able to prove that triangles have more than 180 degrees.
That is the whole point.
That's a worthwhile thing.
No. That's the whole.
They could hardly deny that.
That's the whole point. There will be no agreement because everything that has been done over the centuries is dismissed by flat earthers, and so there can be no agreement.
Right. Even right now, you don't understand how they measure spherical excess, and that's a problem. They
measure spherical excess by putting up an instrument and measuring the angle, writing the number down. That's how you measure spherical excess. Is you measure the angle, you write the number down. You do that at all three vertices, and look at what each one of you got.
Sounds simple. That I mean, could we? All it would need would be what 3 mountain tops.
Yeah,
and then you could drive the flat earthers around to each of the thingies and get them to measure the angles themselves, right?
But if you're doing line of sight,
doesn't seem like it's that much.
Sea Lion found a suitable array of mountains that can be driven to. You don't even have to backpack and hike. Yeah, we could do that. All we have to do is mobilize. All we have to do is mobilize enough people for enough time with enough equipment.
Is it in America?
Yeah, yeah.
Most of these people are, Flat Earth Dave, Whitsit. Who else are the other flat earthers prominent? You wouldn't bother with Nathan Oakley, would you?
Well, I think there was an offer to you to fly you in, and if
I'm
wrong,
not a flat earther. I know that the Earth.
Oh, so then you agree the spherical excess is a simple observation.
Well, it sounds pretty simple, yeah. I think you've just explained that it's pretty simple.
Well, what I'm thinking about is actually the you have towers, radio antennas on all 3 peaks, and you take a triangle from the bottom, the mid section, and the top section. Each one of those is a triangle by line of sight.
Yeah, but nobody's going to climb a radio tower.
That was the point.
Just let me finish real quick. See, you got these 3 towers. You measure at the base. You sight to the base. You sight to the mid, and you sight and on the top. And then you have those 3 triangles. Every one of those triangles will have 180 degrees, by the way. But if you take an angle from each one of them, like different angles on different vertices, and you add those 3 angles of the 3 different triangles together, that will be greater than 180 degrees. And that's a problem for flat Earth. That means those plumb lines are actually diverging. The antennas are actually the bigger triangles on the top, not on the bottom. That's one way to look at spherical excess as well.
Zanick, I posted it earlier. It's been done by engineers over 3,000 kilometers apart, and they was not diverging.
What are you talking about? 3,000 kilometers.
Oh, he's talking about that convex Earth Brazilian parody.
Oh yeah, tell us more, Mabbit. Tell us more. Give us the details.
Yeah, that sounds juicy.
Details.
I'll show you the video.
I've seen the video. What are the details? I've watched the video. They go, oh, these 2 engineers measured it with GPS, and it turned out they were diverging. Yeah.
Okay, now here's
so
the
they
problem.
are saying that it can't be done. Is that what you're saying, Brian?
Go read my comments on those 2 clowns. I ripped them.
Yeah, but I'll give you the comment.
That was.
I'll give you the comment. Are we showing Dr. Shiva that nothing can be agreed on?
Well, that's the problem, Bev. That's very insightful of you. We might not ever be able to agree on any kind of test because there's always be some type of objection to the items that we're using to.
But there wasn't an objection. Brian just said it's been done.
No, it hasn't been done.
Showing that
he didn't know those two guys didn't know what the heck they were doing. They were
okay. So they did it wrongly.
I'm being
well,
nice.
there's a couple of pearls in it because they were using GPS for distance. I use GPS for distance, but what they did is they measured by GPS the distance between the base of the buildings, and they did not measure by GPS across the tops of the buildings. They just took a theodolite and measured the vertical from the base of the building, and so they did not have the chord distance. The chord across the tops of the buildings versus the chord at the base of the buildings.
Right. Yeah, they missed it's like reaffirm. That's a reaffirming the consequence. I've ever seen it.
Now, I just posted the an array of 4 triangles from the 1900 survey. These are as measured, and there's 170 arc seconds of excess in the 11,000 square miles. So that's why it's hard to measure. You have to have the really big triangles, but this has been done.
So it can be done through triangles.
Yes, it has been done.
Also,
so there's not a lot of need to
goes along
redo
with
it.
your straight line thing, and
Yeah,
also
there's
it
not a
goes
lot of
along
need.
with a Zanick's angle thing. There's
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of need to
here, isn't
redo it because there's no need to redo it because it's thoroughly documented.
Yeah.
So are they straight lines on the surface of the Earth? Yeah.
They're the straight lines between the observation points on mountaintops.
Yeah. Are they vertical triangles?
We're talking about the spherical excess of a surface triangle.
Yeah, if we take 3 of those points on the surface, can we make a vertical triangle?
Well, you can do that. This does not demonstrate that. This was spherical excess.
I want to hear Mabbitt's explanation of the Brazil buildings.
I don't understand it. I take their word that they're engineers, and they were global engineers until they done it.
That was funny. Yeah, let's. I don't understand it, but
well done, Mabbit.
I don't understand the method.
Laugh about it.
Right, so don't put it forward as evidence. Why are you putting it forward?
Why do I need to understand? You know, I don't understand. I don't understand heart surgery or brain surgery, but I can put it forward as evidence.
Right, but is your opinion on brain surgery relevant at all?
Do you understand it?
The GPS measurement.
Do you understand it?
I have tried to ask them. I cannot conceive of a possible way that they can do it with GPS. I've tried to ask them. It's bullshit, Brian. It's absolute horseshit.
Well, they could do it with GPS if they measured the chord distance between the building tops and the chord distance between the building bases. But they did not do that. They only measured the distance between the building bases and did not measure the chord distance between the building tops.
They calculated.
Well, no, they took their total station and just measured the elevation to the top of the building, and the building, of course, is vertical, and vertical is radial, but they did not measure the chord across the tops of the buildings.
Yeah.
As I understand it, they got 2 reference points and then worked the angle out to the top of the building and deducted, because obviously that angle from the base point would be to the top would be longer than that base point to the base of the building, and deducted the distance. So basically they were projecting the same baseline into the sky.
No, they weren't. That's the whole point.
Brian, I'll give you $10,000 if you can make the flat Earth math geometry
You
work.
haven't got 10,000 fucking pennies.
$10,000.
You haven't got 10,000 pennies.
Playing cards. You might be on a good hand.
Oh dear. You're aware my net worth is actually Googleable, Mabbit? You're aware of that?
Your net worth is fuck all, else you wouldn't be sat here being paid to promote fucking Globe, would you? Why the fuck, if you're a multi-millionaire, would you be sat in here all day, all night, promoting fucking round Earth?
You got me, Mabbit.
You're a millionaire. Yeah.
You know, some people are very
Don't
proud.
fool
Some people are
me.
proud when they get to add a 0 to their bank account. I was proud when I added another comma.
You
Nice.
do not fool me.
Okay.
You might
You
fool the
cannot be
general
fooled,
public.
apparently.
You don't fool me.
You certainly weren't fooled by these two
I
pretend
know what
Brazilian
you
surveys.
people are. You
Okay.
are either paid shills or a lot of you are non-violent criminals paying off your debt to society,
Brian,
let's
I'm
say.
sick of this.
I
You certainly
don't think
weren't.
that.
Certainly
No,
weren't
it's
fooled by the
true.
surveys,
This
Brian.
is what they are.
Stop
Ruhif
insulting
was
people.
on Bob
A
the
lot of them
Science
are
Guy's
that.
list of top 10
And I was told that by somebody who is
globe
one,
experimenters.
Yeah, I'm the king.
who got caught hacking into companies' fucking computer systems and was offered this position as a payment to society.
Sorry, what? Is that
So
me?
I know
Got
it's
caught
true. I
hacking into
don't have
computer
to.
systems?
I'm not just pulling this out my ass. I
Right.
know it's true. I've been told by one of
Hang on.
you.
No, hang on. Are you accusing me of hacking into computer
I'm
systems?
not accusing you of anything.
Okay. But you've
I am
heard a rumor?
generalizing.
Stop
Okay.
generalizing, you retard. Just be quiet.
Wow.
And I don't know what your story is, Dawn.
Dawn's our handler, bro.
How come Dawn got muted? What happened there?
He deserved it.
Interesting. I want to hear these rumors about me, Mabbit.
You lot have got the opportunity to change history. And you are just, well, most of you have just been paid off to carry on the deception.
Yeah, Dr. Shiva's the chance, guys.
If we work together with Bev, with Nathan,
No, you don't.
everybody
No.
work
All you've got
together.
to do is give Dr. Shiva some tests.
Bev,
The
they would
more,
just stifle
the
it.
better.
Yeah, they'd stifle it, Bev.
Who would? No, Dr. Shiva wouldn't. If you could give them him, and then he could make a thing, and Dave would come to him with nothing, or would you be handing these tests to Dave? Like, I mean, we are just talking about reality, right? That's where I come from. So it doesn't make any difference. Any test that happens in reality is going to go on the real globe, right? Because I know that the Earth is not flat already.
Why do you need to do a test then?
To prove that flat earthers won't accept anything. And along with that, maybe we might be able to prove that the dogmatic globe earthers are much the same.
So, yeah, no one's going to do that.
To Dr. Shiva, hopefully. I mean, that's the initial outcome.
We're all happy with our position, so no one's going to do that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think it can be shown in the fact that level either being horizontal or not is a true dichotomy.
No, it's not. It means both.
Since it's provable, it has to be on the real globe.
That doesn't mean anything when you say it.
His globe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. That was silly.
If you want to make sense to adults, Bev, choose better words.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm going to feed doggies. See you. Love you,
See
Mabbit.
ya.
Yeah.
Word salad cannot change the world, Bev. It won't.
It's not word salad, though, is it?
Yes, it's total word salad. That's why I'm telling you.
I would say what would happen is that level being horizontal doesn't establish the shape of the Earth.
How do you establish the shape of the Earth?
I don't know. Not by establishing that level is either horizontal or not.
No. We already know
that
level
seems
is
a little
both.
bit too simple, really, doesn't it?
Bev, we already know level means both curved and straight.
Does it? So black is white and white is black.
Well, then we can prove.
Convinced you of.
Yeah, no. What Dawn's saying is that we can prove level to be contradictory. It can be both.
Yes. It's
provably.
Just a word.
It's just a word. No, provably means each person decides for themselves, doesn't it?
Well, I'd say it is provable whether level either is horizontal or not.
You've made
scientifically,
a false dichotomy there.
There would be probably many scientific tests that you could go to show that to be a true
I'm afraid
fact.
If you just look in the dictionary, level already means curved and flat. It means both. So we don't need to do a test for that. Just get a dictionary, you'll be fine.
Dr. Shiva, get a dictionary.
He's not trying to determine the shape of level. He's trying to determine the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
Surely
and there's a group
now,
of people.
Two different things.
No, Brian, wait a minute. The point with this is, Dawn, is there's a group of people that have given level being horizontal to flat Earth.
That doesn't make sense.
They should never have done that in the first place.
I do agree with them, Bev, that level could be horizontal over a short distance. That's one of the meanings.
If level is horizontal, that doesn't make the Earth flat, does it, Dawn?
No, it's already both curved and flat. Do you not get it?
Right. But the horizontal part isn't flat Earth, is it?
The horizontal part could be measured on any Earth.
Yeah, it's not flat Earth.
I'm not saying that. It could be. If Earth could be flat and people could be measuring horizontals, I don't think so. But it could be.
Well, if you have a horizontal line or horizontal plane, you would say at any point on that line would be level. And that's not what we see. That's the whole issue with a horizontal plane or a horizontal line. In the
slope to a horizontal, right?
With sensitive equipment, a horizontal line will only be horizontal at one point, i.e., it only will be level at one point. And that's something you could test.
Labeled it a line, though, a horizontal line,
or a plane, or horizontal
or plane, right?
Yeah, or a plane.
That's a line or a plane.
Horizontal plane. What if you set up this horizontal plane? You built this huge.
The difference between a line, a point, and a plane is that one of them is a nothing, a location marker. The other one has two. A line has 2 points, and a plane has infinite points.
That's your definition of a line and a plane.
Okay, so
you can't say that the line and the plane is only horizontal at one point. It's a ridiculous statement.
You keep on saying, let me just finish the statement real quick. So if we were able to establish a horizontal plane made up of infinite numbers of horizontal lines, and if it was truly able to be accomplished, some flat as a pancake horizontal plane, and if you were able to go to the edge of the plane and you put your bubble level there, and the bubble moved to one side or the other, would that plane be horizontal?
It's a horizontal plane. You've already established it as a horizontal plane.
Could it be not level?
The edge of it.
Could it be not level if you measured at the ends, or other than the center of this plane? If you measured had a bubble level and you put a bubble level on the plane and the bubble went to the center, toward the center, was not straight, or went to the outside, would that make it not a horizontal plane? I'm just curious. I need to know the definition so we can actually have this discussion.
Okay, so you have a water level and you point A and point B, right? You can put one end of the water level anywhere, doesn't really matter, and put the level on it, right? The plane that's established by the water level, that bubble on that level, on the bubble level, will be also showing horizontal.
Okay, so what
you could then move that bubble level to the other end of the water level, and guess what? It would show that the level was also horizontal, couldn't you?
Well, if that was the case, the world would be flat. I would agree with you, but I'm saying
flat,
that if we
though.
did,
No.
are we talking
that doesn't make
not having mountains and not having? God damn it!
That was
It's very
just us
difficult to have a
moving a
conversation with you.
level from one end
You're
to the
already
other
wrong,
of a
Zanick,
water
and so am
level.
I.
It's very difficult to have a conversation with you when you clipping me and talking over me. Just let me speak, and I'll let you speak too. So you just gave your statement. I agree. Okay, I gotcha. I understand rather. And you go to the edge and you use your water level, and you don't see that it's level out there. Now, if it was level out there, if you saw the bubble level, go to the center, on the edges and the center, anywhere on this plane, it always had the bubble in the center, and it was a flat, straight, horizontal plane, then I would say the Earth is flat if you could measure that. But that's not what we see. In order for it to have the bubble level be centered everywhere, it has to be a curved surface. It has to be a curved plane.
That's completely incorrect.
You are at the edge of the plane already, aren't you?
There's no such thing as a curved plane. Did you
I mean,
realize
I'm,
what you just?
I'm just joking there. It'd be like water level. Water is curved. It's not a plane. It's curved. It's a curved surface. Yet it is level everywhere you go. Everywhere you measure water, it's always level. It's not a plane. Exactly. It's not a plane.
Zanick, you need to tell him that test would work on a globe and give the same results. Not tell him that it proves flat Earth.
It would prove flat. If you could have a plane.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Would.
The level is a level all the way around Earth. The bubble's always in the middle.
No, I didn't say it on the Earth.
You did, man. You fucking
no.
did.
I said if you had a plane.
Changed it to walking to the edge of the Earth.
If you had a plane, I then
you two the best people to be.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me just.
I'm
responding to him. Hold on. If you have a plane and you measured this bubble level everywhere and it measured level everywhere, then it would be a flat Earth. I said if you're on water, it will always measure level anywhere on the Earth, anywhere on the surface. It's always going to measure level on the water. That's on the surface.
Anywhere, everywhere.
Yes. If you made a plane or a straight line, it's not going to be. It's only going to be level at one spot, and that's at a tangent. This plane can have a tangent point also, by the way. That's the only place it'll be level and horizontal is at one point.
The level is horizontal where you are, isn't it?
Only at one point.
Where you are.
It's only at one point where level and horizontal are actually.
Yeah, but where you are right now, level is horizontal.
If I measured down, my orientation perpendicular to plumb, if I had some structure I wanted to compare it to, would be horizontal. But it would only be level and horizontal at one point, which is a tangent to the surface.
But in reality, where you are right now, level is horizontal.
That doesn't make any sense.
In reality,
on the vertical, Zanick, wherever you are with a plumb bob, that's where level is horizontal.
That's where level can be constructed. Yes, from where I am, any place on the Earth, wherever vertical is, the 90 degrees opposing to that vertical would be an orientation called level or horizontal.
And that is the edge of the plane, right?
That is touching the plane at one point.
Everywhere.
Yeah, but if you went to the other end of the plane, like you said.
He said that
a place where it's level and horizontal, and you go to the other end of the plane, and you say it's not.
You would not.
He said level and horizontal is unique to a point, an infinitely small spot called a point. That point at that location, that point there, that is the only time it is equivalent. And if you depart from that point along that horizontal, level immediately disappears and is now below the tangent.
Yeah, but where you're standing, where he's standing, is the point where it's level and horizontal.
Yeah, and if he walks down the road, then he's at a new point.
Yeah, on the plane, on the same plane.
It wouldn't be level then if you're on the same plane. It wouldn't be level or horizontal at that same point. If you roll the ball, if you had a ball, you would roll.
Then if you were further away, is the level that is horizontal where you first start? Is that not level and horizontal anymore?
No, not on a plane, not on a straight object or a straight line. If you had a ball, it would roll to the center. It would actually, literally, it'd be an incline. I'd be looking at you, and I'd be higher up above the surface than you are, technically. And I'd let go of my ball, it would roll.
Would it?
It would roll to you, which means it can't be horizontal because things don't roll on a horizontal. They don't roll when things are level.
So, well, you established the horizontal though, didn't you?
From the center point, as Schubert has said.
No, from where you are. Yeah, from where you are.
Yeah, anything,
So it wouldn't roll. If you put a ball on it, it wouldn't roll, would it?
If you have a plane that is established horizontal from one point, one infinitesimally small point on the surface, and I went off into every direction and made a plane, a big circular plane or a square plane, wouldn't really matter. It only would be level and horizontal at one point. Anywhere else, there would be an inclination toward the center. Now,
This is why the water level upsets the apple cart a bit, because it's not just 1 point; it's 2.
Yeah, they've got 2 points.
Like,
I mean,
what do you do then?
If you've got level and horizontal where you are, but you go somewhere else, and then that level and horizontal where you are isn't anymore, how could it be one thing and not?
Well, I mean, what they could do is they could imagine, like, let's say I'm holding a plumb bob, right? And I'm at A. An elder bear, right? He's also holding a plumb bob. He's at B.
Right.
Now, both of us are holding one end of a water level.
Okay.
And then let's imagine we put that water level at an equal elevation on these verticals.
Okay.
Right. Let's go from there.
The ball.
Where is
bubble
the horizontal?
In the center of between the 2 points, exactly.
It's not where I am.
No.
Right. It's at the midpoint.
And it's not at the vertical that Elder Bear's got.
No.
Yeah. So from that line subtended across the tips of the water level, from that line subtended, and the plumb bob is not 90 degrees.
What's not 90 degrees?
The line subtended across the water columns, and the plumb bobs at each end.
Yeah, from A to B.
Horizontal. I mean, the line from A to B is horizontal, yeah?
At the midpoint, yes.
Okay. What's the difference between the midpoint and the ends then? What's the
level? Yeah, because the line subtended by the water columns is a chord.
It's in the air.
You mean?
We're going to be holding them in the air. I mean,
yeah. The line subtended for the tops of the water columns is a chord.
Straight line.
A chord, yes, a chord.
It is a straight
horizontal.
line. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's a chord that's horizontal at the middle.
Well, it's the same horizontal. How come it's only horizontal at the middle if we've established it as horizontal between the 2 points?
The 2 points on a plumb line, right? The two initial points are actually on a plumb line because we are holding plumb lines as well. The water level is just a metaphorical thing, like for you to think of. Think of it as like a thought experiment.
Horizontal, yeah. A to B.
How could it not be? I think classic line.
Well, I didn't get an answer. I was just wondering how the horizontal somewhere else was different to the horizontal where it's horizontal.
No? Would that be something that we could give to Dr. Shiva, right? As a thought experiment that you could build.
Everything you just said, you can give to Dr. Shiva. Just lay it out, spell it out, type it out, describe it, put your name on it, send it to Shiva. Send it to the forum then see who agrees upon it, who can dissect it, who can analyze it. Right. So yes, you can send it to Shiva. You don't have to ask if that's something you could send to Shiva. It's an open call for papers. Submit your document.
That was the suggestion. You get 10 MIT physicists on one side and 10 people on another side, and they would, get their heads together, brainstorm it, and hash out the definitions and what the test was going to be and what the possible conclusion they were looking for, and come to agreement on terms in the first place. So, that sounds a good thing. It doesn't sound that's that difficult.
Yeah, I think what Dr. Shiva should have done really is he said we'll get 10 MIT guys, right, and then you, Dave, can get 10 flat earthers, and let's say Bob the science guy can get his team of 10 globe guys. Ooh, and nice they all should come up with their tests to give to the MIT guys, right? So the two teams, flat, globe, and they should come up with their tests. Like who's the best? Ruhif was named as one of these 10 best globe experimenters. I mean, you know most of them. They're frequent these arenas that you guys have talked to.
Yes, and when the flat earthers,
I don't think you were one of. Oh, you were, Larry. Yeah,
and
you were one of them.
And when the flat earthers, completely lay out their document, it'll be put to the panel to see if everybody agrees upon it, and it will be reviewed and analyzed. And if it's not agreed upon, it will be because for cause of finding flaw with either side's description or of their proposed test.
Yeah. It was weird, that wasn't it? Because he gave Ruhif. Yeah, but Dr. Bob gave Ruhif the theodolite for him to do his experiments. What do you think your one would be? Would that be the history of surveying? Whereas Ruhif
and my own measurements,
and
my own measurements. However, you've already discounted my own measurements because
I haven't discounted anything. I mean, we're talking about possibilities.
Okay, not you. Okay, maybe not you specifically, but yes, I've heard you specifically come up, disagree with measurement. So,
well, I know that you've measured lots of angles, Larry, to those radio towers. I know that you've done that. I'm not dismissing those angle measurements. You can would that be one of the things that you would present?
Yes,
Dr. Shiva?
And flat earthers already don't like theodolite work.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? You're not presenting it to flat earthers. You're going to be presenting it to MIT, right? There's no need for you to worry about this. Dr. Shiva is taking, he's willing to be like the middleman between these to find out what the tests are that
and you know
they
what I would
both agree on, I think.
And as I said, what I would submit to Dr. Shiva would be the UK Ordnance Survey UK textbook.
Yeah, that's fine. That's that's the point. He said we could sit around and hash it out. And you could do that, but that would be, your rebuttal to any other person's possibility, and then it would be put to the test to see if, in reality that was true. That was the point.
And if the flat
earthers shouting at people on the internet, it's
and if the flat earthers
actually do it.
And if the flat earthers don't agree that the Ordnance Survey UK textbook is, if they don't agree to that, then that would be a problem. And that would be my submission. That would be my submission, and then there would have to be some other submission.
Would prove that or disprove it, wouldn't it? And that's the point. It's not about people shouting over the internet with different theories and possibilities.
Exactly. Yeah, we could.
An actual test. Come up with a test that could, undeniably put it to bed. I think that's what he was looking for. Because obviously the TFE thing hasn't done that. That hasn't kind of been enough to really. I mean, it's crushed it, but there are a lot of.
How could that not be enough? How could that not be enough?
I don't know. Well, several people are saying, they don't believe it, whatever. It's not, It's not I'm talking about me. I'm just saying, because it's up in the sky, people haven't gone there. Something a bit simpler. I was thinking would be ideal. A simpler, practical experiment that pretty much anybody could do. Not too expensive. I mean, Dave came up with, aeroplanes. Measuring the distance to the ground from an aeroplane, and turning a gyro on its side, and it seemed to be impractical. It seemed like the best test. I mean, I don't know if he's put it out and to find 10 people to fill his side. But Toshiba did come up with a date, June the 13th, 14th. So he sounded pretty serious about it.
To be in America, it must be great. Like that. Oh, that offer's open. He wanted to book it, so go. That's where you make your name by further destroying flat Earth. But I mean, I think that might be the problem, right?
Bev,
yeah.
Did you know water level curves with the Earth?
Well, you say that, but
It never makes a horizontal.
Between 2 points. Is the curve between the 2 points?
No. The height of the water is based on a curve. So if you thought about it logically
height
and followed
A and B,
it's based on the gravity, right?
Equal altitude, right? I think that's what's stated.
Can you hear what I'm saying?
Well, I do hear you, right? And like we were just saying, you can hang a plumb bob at point A, and you can hang a plumb bob at point B, and you can put a water level, one end of a water level at point A,
Yeah. Oh, I get all
and
that.
you can put the other end of a water level at point B.
Yeah, that's great. What I'm telling you is that's exactly the same on a globe in reality.
And Bev, what you need to do,
that's what I've been saying for ages.
Yeah, but Bev, what you need to do is have a third water column in the middle and then see if all three of those tops make a straight line.
Well, you could put a vertical there, right? You could also put a plumb bob at the center point.
Are you sure you're going to just run?
And then what about the center points of those center points? Could you also put water levels there?
You could have an infinite number of water columns on a single water level system. Yes.
They'd all be at the same elevation.
You're running straight past the point. Do you get it, Albert?
They would all be at the same elevation, right? There would be no slope between any two of those points, no matter where they are.
Do you get that, Elder Bear, that this test is exactly the same on a globe, so it doesn't tell you which is which?
Well,
in reality,
I put
horizontal in reality. Yeah, I mean,
I put the diagram of what a water level does.
Yes, that's what I picture in my head. If Earth's a globe, obviously.
If
the flat Earthers right way around.
If the flat Earthers are smart, they'd go into the Indian Ocean where the geodetic surveying has determined there's some flat spots out there, and they start doing all their observations out there, and they would all be backed up, and the bets would all be won by them. They'd prove the Earth.
We've already said that it's a flat. If that's horizontal, that's flat Earth. That's what you said.
There's a flat. I'm saying there's a flat horizontal plane, roughly flat and horizontal-ish, in the Indian Ocean. That's where if you look at the geoid, that's the shape in that area. It'd be geodetically, it'll be somewhat flat. So you could do some observations.
Doesn't make level being horizontal doesn't make the Earth flat.
Oh,
that's a really strange association for you to make.
That's not. It's actually what would happen if you were able to have a horizontal that's flat and it is level everywhere you measure on that surface. Then the Earth would have to be flat. I'm saying if you did it on small scales in certain areas of the Earth, you could get those kind of measurements. But no one's smart enough to really figure that one out and do that, so they could just win bets, for example, on certain types of tests.
Okay, so if we could prove that level is horizontal, what would that mean to you?
The Earth is
Zanick?
flat. The Earth is flat.
There you go.
The Earth would be flat if that was the case.
If you could prove that, it would be a fucking miracle.
If I could prove that level was horizontal,
go ahead.
I don't think that would prove flat Earth.
Why wouldn't
Well, yeah, but just try to prove that level and horizontal are the same. We'll just stick with that, and we'll deal with the shape of the Earth after that.
Right. But if we did the test I'm talking about, getting back to what I was talking about in the Indian Ocean, where you could find areas of flatness that can be measurably flat, I would say in my part of my test, if I was part of that this physicist gathering of all the flat earthers and round earthers to have this experimentation debate, I would say now we measure someplace else. We have to measure in multiple places around the Earth to do this, and then I'd be able to determine what the shape of the Earth is.
What about you,
because
Larry?
the proper
Larry,
test the proper test needs to be
paddling about
replicable
in the Indian Ocean. Is that
the proper test needs to be replicable in multiple locations, and in that one area of the Indian Ocean,
an
you'll
auto
find
level in the water, didn't he?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. I can't try to visualize what you're doing in the ocean, because you're the guy, Larry. But how do you visualize this Indian Ocean thing? Snorkels or
they've taken you off the topic,
That's
guys.
so it had big long tripod legs.
You've ignored the fact that this whole conversation is the same on both models, and you've just gone on to Zanick's troll point about the Indian Ocean.
Well, that is a troll.
I think that was a troll.
That was the point.
That's what I'm saying. You got wrapped up in
well,
that.
then we have an expert here,
instead of rebutting my point,
who could offer his opinion on whether that was a good idea or not. That was the point.
Yeah. Dawn, you weren't on
you got
Bob the Science Guy's top
Aren't you
list
distracting
of top 10
as well,
globe
Dawn?
experimenters.
Can you remember my point to see if I was distracting or not?
Yeah, you were saying that when you establish a horizontal with a water level, that somehow it curves.
No. So when you use the water level on Earth, that's the same on curved or flat Earth. It shows
you can establish
level.
A horizontal anywhere, yeah. Doesn't matter about the surface, does it?
Shows level.
Yeah, everywhere on the surface is level. But if you want it to be horizontal, that's a different story.
Well, that's the thing about the water level. It's not on the surface, in the air.
Yeah, but it depends on gravity, doesn't it?
How do you altitude?
Sure, you could set a water level. You could set a water.
That's why we put the plumb bobs there.
If you set a water level, or a plumb bob, and you will get a perpendicular orientation to plumb, which would be considered a horizontal or a level. That's what it's defined at. Level is an orientation perpendicular to plumb. So that's a line or a plane out in infinity in all directions. Now, if you follow that plane or horizontal in all directions, it will not be level at any other point other than where you started from. That's the point we're trying to make.
So how does the point B relate to the point A then?
Level at the point A, not level at point B, but on the same plane. Higher.
Lower. B is lower or A is higher.
If A is the point of origin, which I assume it would be, point B, C, D, E, and any other point you pick would all be higher.
Higher?
With respect to the surface. It would be an inclination. You would have balls rolling to the center, A. Everything would roll to A. The bubble levels would point away from A.
The horizontal reference, you're not rolling a ball along that, are you? A to B is a horizontal reference with the water level.
Zero slope, right? The ball won't roll.
Yeah, it will. It will roll because, like I said, it's not it's only horizontal and level at one point. The origin,
So
point A, is the only point.
From
only place where it rolls
downhill from A to B.
It doesn't roll at A. It sits there still. You move it anywhere else other than A, it rolls back to A, toward A. The bubbles all will point away. The bubbles will all point away from A.
If you go to B, then.
Yes, going to B will point away from A. The bubble will point away from
A. To A, will it?
And bubbles,
if you put it at B,
balls will roll to A. Everything rolls to A.
If you put a ball at B, it'll roll to A.
Correct. Now you're getting
with
it.
a water level.
With a long enough water level, yes. And the water level will not show level on the ends if it's long enough. Only the center of the water level. Only the bubble level in the bubble in the middle, the bubble structure in the middle, that's at point A, that will be centered. Anywhere else on that long carpenter's level that's a mile long would have the bubble.
Carpenter's level.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about a level that has bubble levels built into it. It's only going to be level at one point. Why is this so hard to understand? You're just being a troll. Come on.
Well, because it sounds ridiculous to me. That's why.
Well, maybe you should try look into it a little more before you start making.
It sound like nonsense, Zanick. I must admit. I mean.
Well,
I think we did this conversation.
Basic geometry and basic physics.
It nearly sounds like a.
Can I try and reword what Zanick's
like a rewind?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
So you've got your level that could be curved. Then you draw a horizontal. Hang on. Just let me go through it. You've got your level that could be curved because the word can mean either thing, and we're trying to find out which is which. Then you draw a horizontal between the tops of the level. And then Zanick is saying that to prove that relates to the Earth, you'd have a very hard job. In logic, it only relates to the Earth at one point.
But the water level isn't the Earth. The reference isn't the Earth.
The reference is based on gravity, which could be curved.
No, the plumb bobs. They're the ones that are vertical, right? We're just
exactly the same as
offering up the water level to a point of even.
It could be curved, same as plumb bobs round a ball.
Sloping, you mean curved?
Curved, like a ball.
A lower elevation of one point to another.
Like a ball.
Yeah, but a lower elevation from one point to another.
No, fuck all that stuff. Elevation curves.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? A curve is that. It's not a straight horizontal if it's curving.
Oh, the elevation curves around the ball. It's up from the ball on a curved reference.
Yeah, but isn't that what the point of a water level is? If
no.
it were curving and it were at a different elevation, the water would flow.
I'll tell you the point of a water level. It's to build little horizontals on a curved surface.
I don't know.
Where's that horizontal? That's
Larry keeps on putting great drawings in the chat. You should just look at them and start. At least if we can understand the concepts, rather than it sounds crazy or it's crazy. If you just understand what we're talking about, then we can.
You remember when we said that I was at A and Elder Bear was at B, and we're both like holding plumb bobs. Well, that picture that Larry put in the first one, that's me at A with my plumb bob. And that's Elder Bear at B with his plumb bob, is it? Because
I wasn't talking about. I was thinking about A being the point.
Vertical.
Is that the problem?
Listen, guys, I was talking.
Marked as though it's vertical, but I mean,
please come on.
It doesn't look like it's vertical at all.
Bev,
look at the bottom drawing.
Bev, I was talking about A being the center. I wasn't looking at his drawing. I was just giving you
the center of the water level.
No, center of the water level, center of where you're dropping the plumb bob. That plumb bob point would be
center of A to B.
What I was talking about. This is making now you're confused over the fact that we can't even have two different scenarios at two different coordinate points. The word horizontal is. I was speaking that point would be A, and then you could think of the A there being C and B. Okay, that's what I was talking about. This is different. Let's stay with Larry's because Larry has a horizontal middle and he's A and B. Both A and B would have balls that would roll to the center where that word horizontal is if the world was round and if the horizontal was established at that vertical in the center. Because the vertical is on either side.
Let's say, just for instance, we've now got a water level and Elder Bear's still at A. Right, he's still holding his plumb bob, except I'll grab hold of the other end of the thing and go to the horizontal point.
Okay.
Right, and now my water level, the end of the same water level that Elder Bear's got, is at the horizontal. Right.
Correct.
Right now, where's the horizontal?
Right where you are.
Oh, so it is there when I get there.
Yes, that's where horizontal is. Yes.
Okay. So what about if I go back to B, and Elder Bear then goes to where the horizontal is?
Mm-hmm.
Would that make A horizontal?
No,
But
the
keep in
line was
mind, okay. So
Getting
you
lost
have
in
your
the
water.
word.
Just use
So you
logic
have your
in
water
the,
level.
it's
Hold
similar,
on.
right? Would A be horizontal if it was at the horizontal point? And B could be horizontal if it was at the horizontal point.
This has to be
can
trolling.
A not be horizontal at the point it's at, and B not be horizontal at the point it's at?
You know,
also?
okay, in that diagram with the horizontal and A and B, right? Notice A and B are at the same elevation, the same height above the datum, and the point in the middle is lower. That's why the ball would roll to the middle. If you had a water level and you both started off at A, but Bev moved to where the middle is, that water level would be above that red chord.
But it's not lower because it's on the same straight line.
The chord is at the midpoint of that chord is lower than the endpoints.
The horizontal. The midpoint of the horizontal is lower.
Yep, just the way the diagram shows.
Horizontal does not slope, right? It's one of the characteristics that we know about horizontal, right? A physical aspect, let's say. There is no slope to a horizontal because it is one of the vital components of rise over run.
And in fact, on the sphere, the horizontal is a tangent at the middle, and everywhere else on that tangent is not parallel or concentric to the equipotential surface of level.
Why did you mark it horizontal then?
Because it's at that point. It is. I did not mark horizontal. Look at the diagram right underneath that.
Yeah, but we're looking at the horizontal. You said it's lower in the middle. The horizontal line is somehow lower in the middle. So
Yeah, because a horizontal line.
There's three lines marked vertical, and
why didn't you draw
only
it?
one of them seems vertical.
In the upper diagram, A and B are at the same elevation. The point in the middle is lower than the endpoints. Yes, because A and B is a chord.
Well, why didn't you draw a curved line, a mirror image of that level line, and then call it horizontal then, if it's lower in the middle?
There's no curved line.
I thought you said horizontal and level were the same. You've drawn them differently.
I did not say they're the same, except at a singular point and only at that point.
But you are saying horizontal's curved, though, is that what you're saying?
No, I did not. I did not. You cannot construe that I made any implication of that.
Yeah, you said at the midpoint of that horizontal, it's lower than the points at A and B. So that's no longer horizontal, is it?
Horizontal occurs at one point, and one point only.
And the outside points A and B are higher from the surface. That means balls will roll to the center, where that word horizontal is written.
I've actually got control.
What about the horizontal, though? The horizontal is horizontal, isn't it?
Only at one point.
Whatever the surface is doing, the horizontal is
only at one point.
I just think you go too far.
If you extended A or B, then A could be the midpoint.
No.
Or if you put a point between A and where you marked horizontal, that would be the midpoint. It'd be horizontal there then.
No. The only horizontal when you have only horizontal when you have a perpendicularity to plumb.
Okay, let's ask Ordnance Survey UK. Oh, I posted it. There you go.